Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at IncaOne Gold Corp's channel. Just want to let you guys know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be running through company updates, industry updates, answering any guys' questions you guys have for us. So if you have anything, let us know and we'll happily dive into it. And of course, introducing members of the team. So who better to kick us off than President, CEO, and Director Edward Kelly. Ed, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. Good to be here with you, Michael.
Glad to have you on. And I think the best way to start this would be painting a picture of yourself and your background for people. So tell me what really got you interested in this in the first place and talk about some of your past experiences.
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I guess it all started back working with public companies, invested in public companies back in university. Invested in my first Canadian capital pool company, and that kind of got the taste of investing in the stock market, which led to, in the late 90s, working for my first public company, which was in the dot-com boom. So I worked with a couple of different technology companies here in Vancouver, and soon realized that really at that time, Vancouver wasn't really the place to be as far as working in technology. It was really the Americans were wanting to dominate that sector, and it was if you had something fantastic that was a piece that they needed, they'd just buy you. But if you wanted to grow a business, which is what I wanted to be involved in and work with, then it was very difficult to be able to compete due to just the amount of angel investing, pre-funding that they do in the States, where they'd raise hundreds of millions of dollars, and we'd be lucky if we raised $5 million here in Vancouver, and it was just impossible to compete on that stage. So pivoted to one of my I really looked at myself. I liked investing and working with companies that were turnaround kind of opportunities. So there was an opportunity where I knew the founders of a specialty coffee franchise, and saw some opportunities where I could go in and work with some especially franchise operations that were struggling, turn them around, and follow the systems, implement the systems. And I was able to take a few of the underperforming operations and turn them around into record sales. And the kind of a business you buy it on cash flows, sell on cash flows. So was able to do quite well on that. And then one of the guys that I was working with in technology, he had left and got into the mining business. This was early in 2002, 2003. And so that was interesting to watch him pivot into that and take a company that was at the time, $5 million, $10 million market cap, and go through the process of exploration and develop it out and sell it. They sold it to a major for $430 million. So that really was like, okay, it actually works.
Got you interested.
Seen it firsthand. Yeah. So that got me interested, and that was during the copper space. And we had an opportunity. We said, okay, now it's the time for gold, and could take the team in Peru and pivot into gold, which we did. And gold, it worked for a little while there, but as we know, in 2013, it's when the financing taps got turned off for the junior markets and gold particularly. So I was really just looking, okay, where are we going to take this company? And an opportunity arose in Peru, where the government decided to formalize their small-scale mining sector, and they were going to come down quite heavy on, which it had always been there, but it had never been enforced as far as the permitting process and so on and so forth. So we saw that as a way to be able to, again, turn around an industry that was having a lot of problems around, taxation, nobody on payroll, no safety, environmental, probably women and child labor attached to it, which was an opportunity to enforce the regulations that the government had put in place, and us be a part of the solution to be kind of a gatekeeper to process only legal ore in Peru for that small scale mining sector. And so we acquired a plant in 2013 and did some testing, got some financing, built out the plant further, and kicked things off in 2015. And since 2015, we've been in full operation and done over $100 million in top line revenue in gold production and sales. So we're just we're running a real business here, and it's not something that you can just flip the switch and you're at $100 million a year, but it takes time and people and processes. And I think now that we've made an acquisition in 2018, we've digested that now and got the right people in the right seats. We're ready for filling up what I think our biggest asset that we have now is some excess capacity that's going to take us into profitability.
Wow, Ed, it sounds like you've had a really interesting and diversified journey across multiple industries throughout your career here. So then tell me what you're bringing really to the table then, now that you're the president, CEO, and director of IncaOne. What does your role really look like on the day-to-day? What are you doing for the company?
Well, we've got about 180 people working with us in the company. About 175 of them are in Peru. So we've got a well-structured management team in Peru with all of our operations down there. Really on a day-to-day, it's driving and looking at the top line sales and running the just always looking at where's our buying coming from our business. It's kind of flipped upside down a little bit. It's all about buying as much gold ore as possible and getting it through the plants. So really just looking at a high level, seeing, what are our numbers looking like in deliveries, and what are our margins looking like, and really instilling and reminding people that in our business, it's about the velocity of money, buying, processing, and selling, and keep turning over our cash on and being as efficient as possible on that.
Interesting. Yeah, I would definitely say it's not what people are used to. Most people think of like junior miners, which is more of the exploration side of things. But you guys, as you said, it's about the velocity of which you can actually keep things rolling and moving forward. So, and I guess the last thing I would want to propose to you is, what is the thing you're most excited about going forward with IncaOne? What would you say like the X factor is, or the thing you're really looking forward to over the next year or so?
Yeah, we're really focused on profitability, and we've got 450 tons per day of built out permitted capacity in 2 plants. And last year we only operated at about 30% of that capacity. So for us, we don't to grow, we don't have to go and spend a bunch of money on CapEx and millions of dollars in building out plant and expansion, or wait for a permit or anything like that. What our biggest bottleneck was when the rise in the gold price took off 2 years ago or 18 months ago, when it went from $1,200 to where we are right now, $1,800 increased. That's a big jump.
Yeah.
And in our business, what we have to be able to do is buy that gold ore up front and pay the miners once it's come to our plant and we analyze it and determine what the value is. We need to pay them within 72 hours in order to keep that relationship strong and be competitive in the marketplace. So we had a gap there for a while, and with COVID and with the increase in the gold price, we needed more working capital. And so we set out in last fall to be able to start to, that COVID restrictions were removed in Peru, and they were open for business, for looking for more working capital and non-dilutive working capital. So we met a few groups, and we decided to work with one group out of Switzerland by the name of OSIM Precious Metals, and what they really provide is a prepayment facility. They basically buy our gold and we deliver it over a certain amount of months. So we did a bit of a test run with them, started in March, We completed it in July,
Mhm.
and that was for $2.5 million. And then we just completed another one with them at the beginning of August for $9 million. And we were able to draw down in the first $6 million. So that's going to give us the most working capital we've ever had in the history of the company to be able to continue to go out there and buy mineral. And so for me, I'm excited to be able to run the business now, take it to new levels that we've never seen before, and see where we're able to take it to and produce a profit for shareholders.
Wonderful. All right, Ed. Well, I think you're giving people a lot to look forward to. Like I said before, we'll do a deeper dive into everything as we go along through these video interviews. But I think, again, you did a great job introing everything and introing yourself. Anything else you want to add about yourself that you want people to know before we go?
No, I think I covered all the bases for now. All good.
Awesome. Awesome, Ed. Well, again, thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions about anything we've said so far, don't be afraid to ask and we'll happily dive into it. But for now, stay tuned. And Ed, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too, Michael.